Okay,
All right, we're good to go.
okay, we'll call the meeting to order.
6:10.
Roll call. We'll start. Yeah.
Colleen Hodges.
For over staff.
And Nick Longo.
Maureen Buffy.
And Norma Smith. We have minutes. Do we have minutes?
We've got 2 sets.
Okay.
And feel free, I know that the second one was late breaking.
Did you send it?
Yeah,
Oh,
it was,
I didn't get them.
it was late. Well, the second one was only finished actually this afternoon.
Oh,
Kimberly, our
all right, I
intern,
didn't look.
So
I
they're
never
both-
got
yeah,
to
you
look.
can-
February, March. They're in the packet.
Yeah,
So
so we're
did-
gonna take a minute or two to read through.
Right.
That's fine.
Do I have it here? Oh, I have it right here. Oh, what a dumbo.
This is a full service place.
Agreement.
That I don't remember. Unless something really pops out at me.
So we just decided Porta John costs were paid by the renter.
That was what was in the minutes, yeah.
I
That's-
thought we were getting it for the season.
Hmm.
Does anybody
Does any-
remember that?
I remember.
I thought we talked about getting it for the season rather than having it going back and forth.
That's, I think that's what we talked about, but I don't remember.
So we can bring that up again here
Okay,
on the
you-
agenda.
we could. Trying to think of what point it would be.
Are you
in
in
the
the March minutes or
And then
the
the February
February?
ones.
All
Right
right.
here, it said that the renter, we talked about the renter. But then if it's rented, then it goes away, then it comes back, and then it goes away. Where if we just rented it for the season like we did last year, it's there for the season.
Donna's not gonna do that program in June, so.
Oh, she's not?
mm-mm.
She hasn't contacted me.
The only thing I recall about that conversation was that we had determined that it was relatively inexpensive. I think someone
Yeah.
said $150 for the whole summer.
161, I think it was.
You know, so it was like, I think we were just
Are you
saying,
planning to use it this summer? You guys?
Not if she's not gonna do that. She's stepped away. She's into some other stuff now. So.
it'd be
But you-
fun to do that open house thing again, though.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
what-
Open house again.
That's what I was saying. if
Yeah,
you're gonna need-
I think we should definitely do that.
I'll do that with you.
There's question
That's
over it.
3 hours at a time. Do we need a porta potty?
Depends on how much I had to drink before I come over there.
Don't drink before you come.
Cause there's really nothing close by.
Yeah.
And,
So if it's something that isn't, that either that's not what it was, or that it's unclear if that's what we still agree with what's there. Maybe we just take the language out of this set of minutes. And if, for the purpose of the minutes, take care of it that way, and then we
And
can
then we
take a
just
mental
talk about
note.
it
Yeah.
later.
bring it
And
up
then
again.
just hire one if we need one.
Yeah,
well, I think what Alex was talking about is just
Changing that word.
Take it out of this.
take it out of
take
this
it
and
out
leave
of
it
minutes,
as open.
And then we can
Then-
talk about it.
Yeah.
make a mental note again.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, okay.
you know, discuss it.
Yeah, that's all I'm trying to, because I don't want to leave that in. It's just-
Do you know where Joe might keep the amendment from?
I think he keeps it in his wallet.
That is not gonna help you.
I don't know for sure.
Yeah. No, we'll skip it for now.
Petty cash.
Yeah, no, it's all right. It would have been for tomorrow, but we'll skip it for now. Alex, I will see you tomorrow.
All right, we'll see.
So we're amending that by taking it out?
Yeah, I think that
You could just put something in, discuss porta potty, no decision made.
Just so it keeps it open for us to make
That's what I
a
mean.
clean decision.
Yeah.
There's a conflict as to what was actually said, so. You just say that we discussed it.
So HPC also discussed. Portage on costs, just leave it at
There
that,
you go, yep.
okay? And yes, we should focus February 1st, then March, so we do the 2 votes, so. Anything else for February?
I'm just looking quick.
Yep.
No, I think that's good. That's the only thing that. Because I don't think we actually made that decision.
Sometimes the audio, if, you know, if you're writing a minute to somebody
Yeah,
who isn't there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
it can be
okay.
tough.
Then let me just,
But that's why it's good to review them. As a group.
Okay. So can I have a motion to approve the minutes as amended?
I'll make the motion.
February ones?
February.
Yeah,
Mhm.
February
Well, I'm
as
gonna
amended.
And I'm gonna abstain
Because
because
you
I
won't
was
be.
not at that meeting.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll second.
Who made the motion? Oh, I didn't hear you. Okay.
Mhm.
All in favor?
Aye,
Opposed? Okay. In March. Can I have a motion to approve the March minutes?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Yeah, all in favor?
Aye,
That was
Opposed?
dates. That was the same as just before,
Mhm.
except this time, Maureen, were
Maureen-
you there for that one?
Maureen is
Yes.
here for March.
Okay, so this
Yeah,
time it's a four
Okay.
vote.
okay. April, we don't, oh, that's today.
Or
No, that
last.
was last, we don't have April yet.
I'm missing a month.
Yeah, we don't have the April ones yet.
That's right.
So, No,
Okay,
did I with you guys that we didn't have the January, have we not voted on the January ones yet? Because the February minutes say that we didn't,
we were changing them because we switched,
Did we have?
and I don't think we ever did vote on them.
because I think a draft exists, so I'll make a note of
Yeah.
that, I think a draft of those.
Because you
January
had
minutes
printed
exists.
it and then it all changed, so we never actually voted
Hmm.
on the meeting dates.
Hmm.
There was, yeah, but that wasn't our normal meeting date, but I'm saying we had the meeting, we had a January 17th.
We did,
meeting.
yeah.
Yes.
And so, and I think a draft version of those minutes exists somewhere, but I don't know in what state. I think that was the last thing that our
Mhm.
previous minute taker did.
Oh,
So I'll
okay,
go back to see, because if we haven't voted on
Okay.
them,
we
the
should
next
vote on them.
agenda, it will be January
Okay.
17th, April 4th, and then,
Okay,
Yeah, we should be
hopefully
back,
second.
yeah, we should be back up to.
yeah, I think we'll be able to catch up to speed by the
Yep.
next one.
okay. Okay,
Thanks.
any info on the grant?
Nothing major to report just yet, it's, I'm working off of the draft language that Aaron and Nick, I believe both of you did, put together
Mhm.
back. A couple of months ago for, assuming that it was going to be RFP style, it's still, I mean, it's the same basic description, it's the same project.
mhm.
So it's just adapting that for the MPA process. Give that a try first, see if we land a qualified bidder through that, and then if not, then like we discussed before, then we go to the longer RFP process. So we're just writing that now.
Okay. So when are we supposed to actually start this?
I think I think it was either June or July first,
Yeah.
one of those two
Okay.
firsts.
I just worry about the money in the budget. If
Yeah.
I don't, had
No, that's right, you did mention
the
that.
January 30th ending of the budget, I don't want to lose our share of
Mhm.
the grant. Have it
January 30th.
June
June,
30th.
July.
Did I say June, January,
30th.
June? Well, they're both
Yeah,
January.
fiscal year is July.
Okay,
1st,
July
right.
3rd, no, June 30th is the fiscal
Year
fiscal
ending.
year. I can't
They're
do
making
it.
sure that money is encumbered so that it doesn't.
Yeah,
I thought that was the understanding.
I want to be
was.
sure I don't take understandings, because then you find out they didn't understand it.
Yes.
So I want to be sure
Mhm. Yeah,
it
that's,
stays in place.
that's important to
Yeah.
encumber that.
Okay. So anything for cemeteries?
Not really. I think May 11th, we are gonna have a Coventry event in Maple Root. We're continuing on stone repair. I think that's if that May 11th jogs at the Saturday, then that's right.
Bob was saying he needed some strong people to come.
Well, I'm not gonna be there.
People that can pick up a rock.
Yeah.
A lot of
Um,
rocks.
Very heavy rock.
Um,
You're working.
then, yeah, I won't be there. Then the 25th, they're also at Maple Root, they're gonna do, a flagging event of that complex, the Plainland Maple Root and Small Maple Root.
Okay,
And then throughout the month, anybody who's interested in placing flags in any of the smaller cemeteries, we can get you flags and you can
Okay.
flag a cemetery.
But now,
so that's-
does every grave marker get a flag, or is it just veterans?
just veteran.
It's veterans, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so like, if I wanted to do it, how would I know which ones to put them on? Is there like already like a little brass star, metal star or something next to
No,
it?
not necessarily, and I've been working on a database for that, so if it's something that interests you, or if you have a specific cemetery in mind, just let me know and I can get you a list of
Hmm.
The veterans out there.
veterans. Yeah.
Pull
I'd
the
like
old
to-
flags and save them, because we'll
Yeah, they go
require
flag.
them at the flag ceremony,
Mm.
Flag Day ceremony on the 14th
What month
June.
is
of
that?
June. June 14th is Flag Day.
Okay,
And so on any of the old flags that they pull, when they put the new flags on, we take those and
I see.
So, and
do
then
what
that,
we're supposed to do with them.
and that reminds me, because on the next day, on June 15th, which is a Saturday, there's going to be a small, Sons of American Revolution are gonna have a dedication ceremony at Manchester Cemetery, recognizing the 5, Revolutionary War veterans there. I think that's at 11 o'clock in the morning. You said the ceremony.
Are there
was
any in
with-
Pine Grove? I thought there was some in Pine
I
Grove
think
too.
there's 2 in Pine Grove, and I kind of was trying to, steer him towards that, to do them
Yeah,
both
yeah.
at once, and
No,
no, I said they could do another, maybe another event at another time.
okay. Pine Grove. Did anybody ever say to you anything about that being repaired by ARPA funds? Cause I had resubmitted.
All that I've heard is what you've said during the meetings about it. I know that you've tried, you said that.
This
it
was the
4
5th time I've submitted
Yeah,
it.
4 times before that you had
Yeah.
submitted for it, but I haven't heard anything since.
I was just wondering if you heard something
Yeah.
within the town.
No, I haven't.
I'm gonna ask.
Maureen, is one of the dates that you had named, is that, I remember you were talking about the state, holding historic cemeteries events, is any of those the one that they were planning to do down here?
Yeah, so we, I believe that is posted on the Rhode Island Historic Preservation and Heritage Commission's website, and also on the website of the Rhode Island Advisory Commission for Historic Cemeteries. April and May were was the time frame, and they were trying to get representation in every town. And since I represent Kent County, more specifically West Warwick and Coventry, I try to coordinate events in both West Warwick and Coventry. So those, in May, the stone repair and stone resetting, would fall under that, and also the flagging will be in time for that.
What are the hours on those things?
Like our specific
The
events.
May 11th and the May 25th?
So, so I think May 11th, I think, they said 9 to 12 o'clock. For the stone, for a window for the stone
Oh.
repair in Maple Root, and then, for the 25th, and I think, yeah, I think that's, I think
Day
Memorial
weekend.
falls, yeah, it's,
Mhm.
it's earlier
Mm, mm.
this year, so that 25th is, I think they said roughly 9 to 10, because if you get several people that show up, it doesn't take
Right,
that
it
long
doesn't
to
take
flag
very long.
those cemeteries.
Yeah, that is Memorial Day weekend. So would you say 9 to 10?
9 to
-ish?
10,
Ish.
yeah.
And have you guys done anything on social media with that? Did you post it anywhere, or? Is there
I think
something that
it's
we can
just a-
share out?
It's just the, no, I think just on the 2, wherever, the Rhode Island wherever they advertise and wherever,
That's still a
Well,
link to share.
I was gonna say, is that something that you'd be interested in having shared out? To get
Um,
people to come help?
I mean, people could come help, but to be honest with you, it goes like so fast, like I
Yeah.
almost feel bad to have somebody make a special trip to go out there, and then it takes like 20 minutes, like, but I mean,
So you put
Yeah,
on the
unless
top of the.
Unless they
post-
adopt a cemetery.
oh, I was gonna say, unless they, like, they get interested and they say, how
Exactly.
can we
Adopt a
help out?
cemetery.
Some
Yeah.
people do.
Yeah.
Some people do, they don't know what they're expecting.
Got 30 minutes to spare on
Yeah.
a Saturday morning, we could use it. help
Yeah,
flag the
that's
cemetery.
right. You said you're gonna be here from 9 to 10,
Yeah.
so from 9:30 to 10, you can help fix stone.
I mean, if nothing else, even if nobody shows up, at least they see
Yeah.
what's happening and.
Yeah, and they can put the Coventry, well, if anybody does advertise, they could put Coventry Cemeteries at gmail.com to get more information.
Okay.
All one word.
Yes, yep, that email, Coventry Cemeteries, plural, at Coventry, no, excuse me, at gmail.com. That's the email address. We don't have a web. we don't have
I'll do a little
website.
posting for you and send it to you, you can take a look at it. see
Yeah,
what you think,
yeah,
and
thank you.
Ship it out. That'd
Shoot
take
that.
20 minutes.
Where would you put it?
I'd share it from our various and sundry social media posts.
Mhm.
I can send it to Norma, because I still
Yeah.
can't get into
I
the,
don't know how to do
I-
it,
I-
because
I
I
don't
do
either.
what they tell me and you never get the
and I
email.
never get the invite, but I can send it to you and you can
Yeah.
post it.
I never get
And
the,
so we
you never
can
get the
get
email.
some.
I'm trying to
recognition
make her an admin on our Facebook page.
On the
And
preservation.
I pick
Commission.
her and her email comes up and she's supposed to get an email saying, do you want to do this?
And I never get it.
And she never gets the email.
It doesn't go to your junk
I've
folder or
looked in
anything?
junk,
I've
I
tried.
have junk, I have trash, I have,
I've tried.
I've looked in all of them.
Since they turned over to Meta, I don't know how to do it.
Oh, yeah, I'm the wrong person to ask.
Yeah,
And
I mean, it used to be
supposed
simple.
Bring the laptop and I need to do that, so we need to sit there and figure it out.
It wasn't, I haven't figured it out yet. Well, I think I do.
Yeah.
But it doesn't
It's
work.
not coming through.
Mm.
So anyway, but we can work around that, that's.
It's frustrating.
Unfortunately, that sticks you with posting everything. The pain
Who's-
thing. Sticks you with posting everything.
Well, and I don't. I don't do it like I used to. But anyway,
I like to get it started and then you're.
no, I know. And then sharing to everybody. Okay, and I'm gonna check on the office, see if they decided to fix the cemetery or not, if I have to submit the paper again. I don't know where these papers go. It's like that. I send you an email, you never get it. I send these proposals and they say they don't get them. Anyway. Okay, and anything else, cemeteries? So we'll move on to the visioning exercise.
Here's. I think I did print a copy this time around. If you
No.
guys have,
Printed
I don't
one
know.
out to me,
but, yeah, we've got at least the TV here, you look off for nothing else.
it's actually.
This is how, we left it last time, where Nick, I think you're the only one who's here. This time, I wasn't there last
Yep,
time.
I wasn't
But
there
in
last
case
time.
there's anyone else that I've forgotten, basically just,
Mhm.
we went through and we did it as like the track, comments kind of thing. But just to take note of which, for these different tasks that we came up with. Which
Can-
ones involve, working with like other town departments or other people,
Mhm.
just so we could keep track.
The 1978 report, there's a comment that says check with Rhode Island Historic Preservation and Heritage Commission when ready. What does that mean? Because it is ready and did you guys talk about like they're gonna do a new one or
We
something
were
or?
saying like, when. I guess the idea being like we would take what they had started, what they had made back then, and basically like. Clean it, so like the buildings that had been demolished since like. Get them out of the way, or add buildings that
Right.
since
Mhm.
that time either have gotten.
Mhm.
I think normally they say like 50 years before it's the default assumption starts to be, it could be certified for historic. So I believe the logic of that, correct me if I'm misremembering, was that they would just want to be notified of like. Our spin on what they had done before,
Oh.
before we started to publish it online. and
Oh, of course,
stuff.
yeah, so, okay, yeah. Mhm.
Only so much that you can capture with a small note, but. That's why we got the recording,
Yeah,
so we can
So
go
if we
back
change
to it.
their record, let them know we're changing it before we republish it.
And we figure too, just, give them the appropriate credits right up front, started with. The 1978 HAER report, much of the content dates to then, but also
Yeah.
updated by.
I
country sources.
would suggest that we contact them. When we are getting ready to get started, before we start, because, knowing how cooperative and enthusiastic they are about these kind of things, collaborating with local folks. They might have some really good tips and techniques on how to approach it, or they might even have some other resources that they can point us to that will help us. So we don't reinvent the wheel. They might have suggestions from other municipalities that have recently or in the past updated it.
Mhm.
And I just think that would probably be a really good place to actually start,
Okay,
talking to them.
does it make it clear if we say check with RHBC when ready to begin?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think that'll be our mental bookmark to
Yeah.
start it at
Yeah,
that point.
okay.
Just gonna keep hitting save, can't forget. How much do save as, so that we've got the main version. So my thinking for today was that we could go down this list now, and maybe we do it this time by either set the text or just highlight the text, different colors. We can go by, ballparking it. Does this look like a task that could be accomplishable, short, medium, or long term? It's another way of, so we're now starting to triangulate on the point, I think, where we'll be able to. Like make informed decisions about which things we wanna start off with first, like how we whittle. What we've been working on into a work calendar, both for the remainder of this year and then for the next. Whatever we wanna set it for another year or two, and then just have like a, general things we'll get you after that, however we decide to sort it.
Mhm.
It's not necessarily as simple as like, so all of the things that could be accomplished in the short term. We'll do those first, like there could be certain things like. Depending on what we do for education, even if it's like long term could just mean like ongoing. So, again, I think it's still useful to go through and just have that category easy for us to see. And then probably, it could be probably the next time we meet, I guess, we could start to make. All, of course, best if we're all here, but you never know,
Mhm.
people's schedules are what they are. But from there, we can start, I think, to decide which things do we have. That are either already irons in the fire that we should continue with, or what are the next things we wanna
Mhm.
take on,
Prioritize
so,
it.
yeah,
Cause there's gonna be some long-term stuff that you can start,
yes.
but while you're waiting for somebody else to do whatever.
And
they
this is
need
where,
to do,
yeah, we can start to
that's when
think
you start
about,
sticking your-
like we can visualize it however we need to, if it's like a colored bar or something, like.
Well,
How
a
much at
Gantt
one
chart,
point, yeah.
a
at
Gantt
any
chart
given
is
month,
good
yep,
for that, so.
yeah. And so, anyway, that's what I'm thinking for today, so. we
Tell
can
me
go
what
down
you
the
mean
list
by
again.
short, middle and long term
Well, I'm thinking.
timeframes.
Yeah, I know, that's kind of the thing, is, I guess I'm open to that being defined, but. Maybe you say for short term. What seems fair, like something that's accomplishable, and I would think either like 3 or 6 months, maybe.
Short term engraving the stone.
3 to 6 months and
Well,
doesn't require.
but-
I mean, if
anybody
you're
else.
talking
Well,
short term,
Yeah, what we're trying to do is define the date of short term. As an
Yeah.
example, you're saying like 6 months from now, it would
Yeah.
be done. So like our short term could be defined as everything that we want to get done by December 1st.
yeah, like
Yeah.
the stone or.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then, yeah, medium term could be. Whatever, maybe
Yeah,
6
like
months
that-
to a year.
That 1978 book, that's gonna take a while.
yeah,
And it's fun, like I said, it could be that if we say something is a long-term project, that doesn't mean we don't get started, it's just. It'll help us to, when it's time to think about what does a calendar look like. I think one of the ultimate ideas is that we write a calendar that. Is manageable, like at any given snapshot in time, that we aren't trying to juggle so many different
Mhm.
things. That we either lose track of
Lose
like
track.
where, whatever momentum we
You
had
don't
going
accomplish
forward.
anything because you're jumping from thing to thing.
Yeah, so, anyway, I guess for the purposes of this, what do you guys think, that less than 6 months? Counts as short term, 6 to 12 is medium, and then 12 plus is long?
Yeah,
Does that
I
sound
think so.
fair? Would
That
you-
that sounds
cool to
good.
me.
That sounds
can
good.
always
Sounds
change
good.
it.
Yeah, okay,
Let's go with that.
so midterm is 6 to 12 months.
I think so, for the sake of argument for this one.
And then there's also ongoing.
So what is long term then, up to 24 months?
Yes, I figure we could just say like 12
12
plus.
plus.
Oh, that's what you said, okay. So that first one, historic zoning ordinance, I'd like to see that one as a short term. I think that that's something that's
Mhm.
in dire need of updating.
I wouldn't be surprised if the number, I don't mean to poison the proverbial well, but I wouldn't be surprised if a number of the organization ones are things that we'd end up taking on first, because, they're foundational,
Yeah,
but. Oh, we should probably conduct administrative review of components of the historic preservation program. What do you guys think? Short, medium, long?
It's gonna.
Well, I think that when we put that, isn't that like the
It's-
header for the, all of the things that follow under
I think
organization?
I know it's one of those things where I believe that these pieces.
That's all the components. So,
ultimately are the components.
really, it doesn't need to have a bullet in front of the words, the sentence conducted administrative review, because those are the components below it. Historic zoning ordinance component,
Should
goals and
we,
objectives is a component.
so should we just combine it, create the following components of historic preservation program, just paste it into this line?
Well, to me, an administrative review goes back to the purpose, vision, and goals of the organization. So mission and vision, goals and objectives, those are things that you do that sit and stay, no matter what projects you decide to do under that, those are the first things you have to have.
Mhm.
So I'm thinking that the create the following, at least through goals and objectives, would go up underneath conduct an administrative review. The public relations strategy and the preservation plan, those might be review and update. Because
So-
those are
Right now, you're
projects
saying
you
we,
do.
we don't have these in existence.
We don't have
We
those in
don't.
So there,
existence.
those are create, these would be
Mhm.
Those are-
review.
Review and they're projects to do.
Do we have a
So
preservation plan? No, I don't,
I don't think
I
so.
don't believe we have anything
Yeah.
right now.
right.
It's
Just
like, yeah.
in my handout, I just had an example of,
But can you do a preservation plan? You can't really do it until you have your mission and vision and your goals and objective statement.
Mhm.
That comes first, and
Yeah.
then all the rest of it are tasks underneath that.
mhm.
And even the public relations marketing strategy, you can put that down in education. Cause that's pretty much what that is.
I suppose. Maybe we just leave this alone, let's, I guess,
Does that make any sense?
I think
Just
so,
how you're
yeah,
seeing it?
it's,
Am
I guess I'm just
that
saying, like,
crazy?
for some of for the things that exist. Like the review and update, I could see like conducted administrative. Review and or update these things, like the way that I was thinking about the word is at least that. For things that exist, yeah, we would review them before changing them, so we know.
Right.
We're sure, like, what was the logic that led us to this point?
But how do you review and update it if you don't know what your mission?
I think you guys are getting a little bogged down. When I wrote that, conduct an administrative review meant all of those bullets below it. All of that stuff is administratively reviewed.
So
We-
take the bullet out,
Yeah, that's just like the
just
header.
take the
for-
bullet
for-
out,
Yeah, maybe if you just take that out, and
just
then
take the bullet out.
it'll
The
make more
bullet, the
sense.
whole,
Just
That-
like
just
that.
And then it just makes, like he
And
said,
those
the
are-
header,
Yeah, and those are the components of our
Yeah.
program, our
Yeah.
historic preservation program.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
so, okay, so let's. This one, I know we did say, so let's set, short, green, mediums, I don't know,
Yeah, it's fine, green, yellow, red.
okay.
Yeah. Check.
Hopefully it's rich enough color wise on here that it comes.
Wait, should red be short term?
Let's,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
more immediate.
alright, let's.
more
do it that
urgent.
way.
okay. Red,
Yep, so red, yellow, green, short, medium, long.
Yeah. Oh, and that's like a traffic light
yeah, I
too.
was just thinking that,
What should you highlight instead of font color? I don't know that your yellow is gonna show up.
It may, let's see if it lets me, it may not, trying to view.
Or you can just put S, M, or L.
Trying to hide this tab.
Oh, go to review. It's review, and then where it says show final markup. Go up, click on that, and then. You can do show, yeah, or original.
Okay, yeah, that's good, that's good. Okay, so it showed up here, so we'll just toggle between the two when we need to review it. Standards and guidelines, would you put that on the same par?
Yeah,
Okay,
Well, standards and guidelines. That was, I thought maybe a more complex,
Standards and guidelines of what the town laws are
well, here's the
pertaining to.
one, I forgot the director's name, planning, Caroline Wells did this one. I didn't bring the actual paper copies, that's in my, so that requires some effort because it tells you about like different styles of buildings and what you can do and can't do with your buildings.
I see that, so that's not really the guidelines, that's the informational brochure about the guidelines.
Well, it says standards and guidelines, and that's like if a builder was coming in and wanted to
Yeah,
work on
that's
an old
definitely
house, in a
good.
perfect world, you'd give them that and say, "Oh, take a look at this."
Does that feel more like a medium term? one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it really
Yeah.
does. It
Okay.
really
Yeah.
does.
And that, I think that would be aggressive to get that done in a year.
It would be, because you're gonna have the.
So we can decide, is it better if we set these more conservatively then?
Mhm.
Do you want, like, do you want that to be your default assumption that just
Mhm.
it's better to err on the side of
You have a copy of
government
that.
run slow?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
because we can also
Yeah.
just set
Oh,
that, so.
So if we beat our goal,
Oh,
great.
things
If
in the
not,
paper.
at
You can
least-
enlarge, you can stretch
Yeah.
it too if you need to.
And again, this will this will get reconciled the next time around
Mhm.
with. Which things do we think we should
Yeah.
at least begin?
Yeah, this,
So-
what we're doing right now can just be a quick exercise, and then next time we could like change it up if we want to, after we've thought about it or whatever.
Oh, what
So we'll
happened to it?
set this at green,
It's gone. It disappeared.
and then we'll extend beyond 12 month time.
Did you need to see it
Well,
somewhere?
green is.
No, I was just trying to read what the comments were.
Okay.
Get 12 plus,
Okay.
if we're assuming conservative, yeah.
What does HAER stand for?
Historic, I think it was historic
Okay.
American engineering
Did you read that?
record, might be architectural,
at
but I
the
think
end.
it was American. Another one of those things that was big during that time, but then, you know, it lasted a little while longer. But for all I know, the programming still exists. Kind of like a national register.
Okay.
It stands for,
And was
Yeah.
that done?
Historical-
specifically for Coventry?
yeah, historic and architectural resources. What's
Is
that
that-
E?
Oh, is that? a different-
See, there's the cover of it,
Historic-
Yeah.
So maybe it's just HAR?
yeah,
So I guess
historic
it's something else.
and architectural
There is
resources.
an HAER, but.
In your world, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
Oh,
So that project, you guys think that that's another probably 12-monther to do that
Okay,
research?
I have
Yeah.
seen that, yes.
Mm.
that I
Yeah.
have seen.
mhm.
Because there's a lot to, well, there's things to delete, but there's things to add as well that we
Yeah,
never,
yeah.
never
What do we
covered in the
do?
first place.
Some of this, I think
Yes.
we'll have to,
Red, yellow, and green.
we can
Green is
ballpark these
long-term.
things, that's as best as we can. do
Yeah.
at the moment,
That's definitely a
but
long-term one
Yeah.
right
With
there.
standards and
Well,
guidelines.
when we
of
s-
that one?
Whenever the time
That-
comes
that's
to
what he
kick it
built
off,
it.
that's when
Mhm.
we'll start to get more of
Wait,
a
but-
sense of like the scale of the task before
That
us.
standard.
You know, and that's
guideline
such an
is
important project too, because while we don't realize it yet, that report really sets the goals for the whole town. It really does, because it's gonna list all of our historic properties without any encumbrances of, you know, declaring it this or that. I know it makes the town nervous to do stuff like that, but it's really a document for the future, so it's
Inventory
important to
is-
do it properly.
Yeah, and it's always useful in its own right,
Mhm.
just. Some kind of record is better than no record, enough has been lost with no record. For the next section with some of these, the statements and strategies, what do you guys think?
We should be able to do that mission and vision pretty quickly.
Yeah, I would say that, did that.
Especially we'll just build on somebody else's.
So set that one to red, goals and objectives,
Likewise, I think.
Likewise, but it may be. Yeah, that's fine.
if not
Yeah.
concurrent, yeah,
Yeah, concurrent
Again.
shortly thereafter.
which, I know, it's. Let's keep holding ourselves on our own leashes, just, you know, how long will this take, not which order do we wanna do it in?
Exactly.
For a public relations or marketing strategy. Do you guys feel as though you already know what you in some ways want to do, or do you think that we should take a medium term length of time?
I would say medium. I think we need to tackle those first two first.
Before we
and not-
decide what we're
and
gonna
not-
tell people.
And not think about the public relations yet.
Yeah, because I can see our mission and vision statement on any
Yeah.
printed material.
Yeah, so I would say the medium, which is what, yellow?
Which when we do get involved in the
Yeah.
mission and vision statement, we have to think about that too,
Yeah.
that the public is gonna read it and we really want them to know us by seeing that,
Mhm,
not
mhm.
just some internal
Right, right.
government thing.
Hmm. And then the preservation plan is, I mean, it's a bunch of things, I guess.
I would say that's a green
So-
one.
Yeah, this is a,
We'll put it in green.
it's a comprehensive public facing document that contains the commission's mission and vision statement, covering geographic setting, its historic resources, past commission accomplishments, future goals and objectives. All states are required by the National Park Service to create such a plan and must meet certain content requirements. Rhode Island has an excellent plan that we could use as our benchmark. So that'll be a fun project,
And then, yeah, correspondence.
at least for an administrative guy like me.
Yeah,
So pick another color, because that's gonna be an ongoing thing.
you wanna do blue, I guess, for ongoing?
Yeah,
And the difference of ongoing, yes, though is probably clear, just for it to be said would be like. Things that don't have a defined end.
Mhm.
Beginning and end,
It's like,
right?
yeah, the maintenance, for lack of a
Yeah.
better term.
What kind of, maybe I missed it, I'm sorry, but what does that relate to? Solicit input on what?
Basically, I thought it was like a preservation plan. and
So that's, yeah, that's gonna, I mean, anything we
It's-
do is probably, and if that involves a town department, we're gonna have to.
Yeah,
do it,
yeah.
So,
But it just looks odd hanging out there like that with nowhere to go. I don't know what that was about to begin with.
Yeah, it's, I guess
I
we'll
know.
try to rationalize
Yeah.
afterwards. Or we could take back into the
Yeah.
record that we're slowly reestablishing with the minutes.
Mhm.
Alright, hopefully these next are a little clearer. So for education, first complete full-size Larry Meniere's draft HBC walking tour. What does complete mean? Are we like very close or what?
Well, it's already done. It's was a handout that they made. It was like handwritten on a map.
oh, is
well, that wasn't done by.
Yeah, do you have, yeah,
is
that.
This one?
Yeah, that wasn't done by Larry Minier, that's something else.
Hmm.
And that's not a walking tour.
So Larry's got a walking tour, but his is the GIS one.
I don't think any of these are walking tours.
No, these are.
This is a
not gonna
big
be
town.
walking tours.
Yeah. But that's the one we were excited
They're
about
doing a
putting together. a
Walking
new-
top tour of South
This is
Main
just-
Street, but
Yeah. we're
that
working on-
one you've got there is up to Reed School and Nathaniel Green and
Yeah.
Payne House,
Royal
that's not a walking
Homestead.
tour.
Baptist Church.
You could do Payne House and Nathaniel Green as a walking tour if you went the bike path, I suppose.
But I wonder where that came
But-
from.
Well.
Or
I
they've
think-
done that with kids.
I know,
Yeah.
some of it is too bad. I don't know if it was a Paul or Aaron thing and that's like maybe they would have shed some light, but.
Do you think it
there's-
was a cemetery thing? Because I'm visualizing the Larry Minier database stuff that, and cemeteries was a big thing in that, wasn't it?
I don't remember it at
I-
all, to be honest with
Would
you.
we
I know
want
we
to
did a
have-
walking tour with,
That's right.
Tuxet Valley
Mm.
of, Main Street over there by Planet Fitness and down through there. We did a.
Yeah,
they had-
Anthony,
I'd like to
yeah,
go on
they
that.
did that,
that's a walking tour, but when
Yeah.
you're doing
Yeah.
what you're saying there,
Yeah,
and
this-
there's
you
much
can't walk
more
this.
out western Coventry, those are not walking tours.
We may, for the time being, I guess maybe we should try to make a mental note to ask Paul or Aaron later
Okay.
on, maybe for now. The only thing, if we're saying, the only thing we know that Larry, so like, cause, okay, the next line down, principal walking, driving tour maps of the
Yeah.
historic site.
That's it.
Yeah,
Even
yeah,
if they don't exist right now, they could be made into the
Right,
future,
right,
so let's let. Like the end of this top line can be covered by this.
Yeah.
If we take the Larry Minier as the essential piece of it, then what we know that he made.
yeah,
Was GIS mapping of historical cemeteries. That I do remember. 'cause I
can
remember
we at
reading
some
it.
point have him come again to refresh our memories? It's been a long time.
Because the
Since
GIS
it's been
map for cemeteries was done by the Rhode Island Advisory Commission.
Not him, but he's got.
In
does he have that on?
2013.
I don't remember if he had.
I don't remember if that was a
If he
layer on his
included it.
map. I don't remember that.
So.
Yeah, it was
Should-
because I
Would we
remember,
want him to come again, is what I,
yeah,
just
we
to
talked about
refresh our
that before.
memories.
I'd like to meet him.
You've never met him before?
Mm-mm.
Okay. No, if you want him to come again and we could he showed his whole program. We could be specific, I cannot talk today, specific on a focus on
Yeah.
history.
Yeah,
It's nice to have a mix of the web resources and the print
Yeah.
ones too. So, okay, I would say if it's. I think that already exists, at least in some form, so. In terms of like how long that would take, I don't even know what complete is, that feels like that could be a short-term thing to begin and accomplish. Not that we
Yeah,
have to start.
But
first.
that's what she said of the historic cemeteries are not Larry Meniere's.
I'm pretty sure he
Yeah.
did make one for Coventry though.
Did he?
He made something for GIS and I'm pretty sure that it was cemeteries, and I don't know if it was a duplicate. But,
What was the
or
one
if
you
he
said?
originally mined the statewide thing,
Maybe that's what he did, yeah.
so.
Maybe use the same one, you mean?
I don't know, I haven't seen it, I can't say for sure.
We'll know what we mean, I guess, and revisit with more precision the next time. Do you guys agree, is that one red?
Yeah,
To talk to Larry.
3 to
yeah.
6, yeah.
Yeah, I would say
Yeah.
talking to him.
Okay. I would, because again, for right now, I guess if we detach from. You know, which order do we wanna do things, we just think of how long would it take whenever we decide to pick it up,
Whenever we decide to do it.
that's
yeah,
probably not
Yeah, it's not gonna take long,
that long. Okay,
especially if it's
create-
already done.
the next one, create a web page on the town website to host historical GIS maps, printable walking, driving tour maps of historic sites, digital exhibits of historic documents and artifacts, okay. That I could see, because some of that entails probably creating content,
Content,
like not just the website itself, but. Deciding how we want to curate digital exhibits, that could be a,
So is
a
that
little while.
considered ongoing?
Yeah, that would
it
be.
would be ongoing, but the creation of it
Mhm.
and the format to it, which whatever the town gives us. Whatever format they already have established and how much space they're willing to give us, because we have a lot of pictures that we don't.
You think that would be a midterm, like
Yeah.
we just like establish the website?
It's gonna be a
Yeah.
maintenance after that.
So yellow maybe for the word create. And then blue for the rest.
Yeah.
Establish a local landmark, find a different brand name. Designation for marketing, non-regulatory purposes to promote buildings and for features instead of historical significance.
That's,
That could be. It's at least gonna go with whatever public relations was.
yeah, but the actual coming up with the terminology is gonna be red. I mean, if you sit in a room with a thesaurus, you'd probably do it.
What are we talking about there?
That is,
Establish a local landmark, what is that?
Norma had,
Terminology, not a local landmark, but a something that. Determines that something is a local landmark, a historical landmark, without using that terminology, because somebody already uses it for something else. So you could
Yeah, and the
say,
thing
I'm sorry.
uses theirs as a national landmark, but
But those terms are like set in stone as far as when you,
so we have to
usage.
come up with something else.
So why though? What are we
For the
gonna,
things that we determine have value, historic value. But not wanting to freak anybody else out.
I think this.
so like the,
Yes,
the youth center, like,
Yeah,
okay,
because
so,
it's not defined as anything yet,
right,
so until it is. We have to have a way to refer to these things in the same way with the rock that. The town meeting rock
mhm,
should be designated as something.
Point of historical interest.
Exactly, we
site,
just
yeah.
have to come up with. the
Yeah,
terminology.
okay.
Historic site, it's for. Like I said, 20
Okay.
minutes in a thesaurus and we could probably come
So-
up with something.
I just don't wanna let the town off the hook too
No,
much
no,
for
no.
local landmark designations.
No, we're not gonna let them off the hook, but we are, I think it will help bring their attention to those places that don't
Of
have the
course.
official designation.
Yeah.
so certain ones, as they designated, would be local landmarks, but
Mhm.
other historic sites
Yeah,
would also be still
a way to point
Exactly,
citizens to
exactly,
what we're talking about.
exactly like the stone we're gonna have engraved, that
Mhm.
would be a historic site
Yeah.
versus a landmark of the teen center or whatever
Mhm,
else.
mhm.
But when they have an
Yeah.
official designation, then that's what you would
Yes.
use.
Yeah.
But until then, we need to be able to
Yeah.
say, that's a cool
Like
spot. you
point of
can go there."
interest, you know.
Yeah,
So it's somewhere I'm sensing between red and yellow, or pieces of it are red, pieces are yellow.
Pieces, I mean.
It's
once
just all
we
one
decide
thing,
to
I
do
think.
it, it's probably just gonna be red. And then it's just a question of maintaining and adding on to and building that list of what we think are points of interest.
Yeah, I guess I can see it that way too. I know, I was thinking in terms of like. Does this work naturally happen when we're doing this that we said was gonna be yellow? That was how I was thinking.
It doesn't our nav systems in our cars say points of interest?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they usually do,
Yeah.
yeah.
So do you call them historic points of interest?
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah, probably the reflection, you're right,
It's a
is more of a. It won't take us 6 months to decide. but-
no,
Alright. So digitization of historic documents, that would probably be green because eventually it's like given enough time. That's a project that could have a defined end,
Exactly.
even if it's gonna take a long time.
how many historic documents? do
Well,
we have?
if we depend on Paul for
Corporation,
historic
yeah.
documents, it'll definitely be ongoing.
Yeah,
He's got tons of stuff coming all the time.
but eventually there's light at the end of every tunnel,
Yeah.
so. That's why you chip away at the pile. Develop a rotating exhibit, so this is a little similar. Rotating exhibit of historic materials in a display case somewhere in town hall, now that's
Like
kind of
ongoing.
already,
Ongoing.
yeah. Oh, scrap it.
Do we have one right now?
There's a case there right now.
So, yeah, that's.
There's a few things in it.
territory.
Hmm?
Is there anything in it?
Yeah, there's a Washington Primary School bell. The Boston cane is in it
Okay.
right now. The sword, Civil War sword,
Let's see if I remember.
And some
Oh, there's a
photos.
Civil War sword in there?
and some photos.
Where is the case?
They put it right under that town map that was preserved.
Oh,
It's right underneath it.
darn it. Every time I go in there, I look at the town map and don't look down.
Look
I look
down.
Every time I go in there, I look at the tax collector's office.
What?
I said every time I go in there, I'm looking at the tax collector's counter.
Oh, yeah, I know, huh? Oh, don't remind me, I think it's due this month, isn't it?
Yeah, I think mid-May is one of those pay periods, I'm pretty sure. Alright. Organize a lecture series on historical topics, perhaps to support 250th celebration. If the 250th is 2026, then probably green.
Yes.
Mhm.
And I will tell you that that is not easy to do. And I don't know if we're gonna have any money to do it with.
Be all these things should be taken bite by bite. And yeah, and when we do make our calendar. If we start something off and it looks, we realize, okay, this is whatever it may be. We need to work with another agency and they said, okay, we'll review it now and like 4 or 5 months go by and we realize it's gonna be that kind of agency where.
Sorry, we just hired a new whatever and that's their job and they won't be ready to do that until, yeah.
It can be nimble enough that yes, we can say, okay, well, it looks like we've got a gap in these couple of months we weren't expecting, maybe we can make some headway on this one instead. All this stuff, we'll take it,
Can be changed,
we'll rotate it, but starting from some kind of a concept, some kind of a calendar plan.
not sustainable.
Again, the idea is just. Make the most use of momentum that we can. Alright, especially projects, CLG grant, current projects, as well as thinking about future.
Current project should be
It's-
a year,
Yeah, I know, it's kind of, I can see how you would categorize it as like. You could either do yellow or you can do. Blue for part of it, I mean,
so you have a
Because-
current CLG grant.
we have a current one,
And then
so
you
in
have
that.
another one, another thing, it would be future CLG grant projects.
Mhm.
And so that would be more ongoing in the current one, we anticipate. What was
See,
the
yeah,
end
probably-
date on that?
Well, the end, actually, that would carry, cause
It's gonna be more than
it's a
12
little bit
months.
more than 12
Yeah.
months, yeah, it's sometime into 2025, I think September. So I guess it's green
Yep,
for the
I would
first,
do that. And then as other CLG projects come up, then we can add them to the list.
so.
Yeah.
Maybe make it a separate bullet.
We're just,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
that's before we do that, we go to page 2,
Oh,
that is a fate worse than death, if we have to go to page.
Yeah, we'll just delete some other project.
Take some spaces, see where it says special project, there's like 4 spaces above that, take some space.
Oh, yeah, under organize and lecture, just,
Well, I think we'll know too by then, I think we know what we mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Restore/replace historic signs in Anthony and Harris villages. some of these were Paul's projects, he probably would have done to know best, like how long they take, but even so, we can take a guess on this change
Yeah,
later.
I don't think that's short term.
Do you think that
depends
that's
on
the sort of
money.
thing,
It depends on money, how long it takes to,
let's
You
be,
need $10,000 and you have it done in a
Yeah.
couple of
yeah,
months.
let's be conservative then and assume it's green, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yes.
If there's an element of unknown about like how long it'll take to come up with funding for it, and, okay. Then extend the Riverwalk over Old Railroad Spur right of way / establishing pathway parking area off Howard to connect up to Pope, that's probably. green
Right.
too.
That's gonna involve making friends with a lot of people.
Anthony Athletic Center, Teen Center, determine historic preservation solution, also looking at solutions for old police station, town hall, St. Germain store. These, I think. I would think that the way that they're gonna play out, they would probably end up in green territory too.
probably,
Just knowing how, when the conversations that you've had so far have begun.
Yeah.
Like St. Germain things, probably gonna be.
there has been activity there,
You mean like demolition activity?
there's trucks parked there and.
I saw a big truck parked
There were a
there
bunch
too.
of people with yellow hard hats on. It was not DOT and it was not the town. I don't know who
I
it.
know, I saw it too. I wasn't sure if they were just having lunch there or
No,
something.
there's two trucks there still,
Um,
but the roof is starting to
that's really
really
bad.
bow.
I went there for the first time in person.
Mhm.
About a month ago, it was on the day of the eclipse. And so I got to see that and I also got to see the. Old building that was the train station and that
Mhm.
was a place.
Mhm.
That was kind of cool to get to see. I mean, I could see pictures online, you can
Yeah.
go to Google Street View that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep,
Half,
It
that's
doesn't give you
90% of it, but to be there in person.
I don't know what they're
Did you
doing
guys
with
see
that
the train?
train station.
They were really energetic at
Yeah,
first
no, it
cleaning it
stopped
up and
again.
then there's nothing happening. That big rollaway container still
Yeah.
just sitting out there.
Mhm.
But it's too bad they can't do something with St. Germain's like Warwick's. I don't know, it's the town hall, but we went for classes there. And it's the old factory in Centerville where
Mhm, mhm.
I'm still struggling
Yeah.
with where everything is and what you call it. But anyway, it's the original shell of a factory with all I-beam steel
Mhm.
inside, so it's like a building within a building.
Mhm.
And that would be easy to do with St. Germain's, is just build a metal structure inside it and just keep the walls.
The stumbling block there is the state.
Yeah,
The town would have to take it, and
Mm.
they're not going to.
yeah.
That's the solution.
Have a private investor take it.
But they haven't allowed that either. People have wanted
They
to buy
won't
it in the
sell it.
past and they won't sell it. So,
Mm.
It's in the green territory from the sounds of it.
Yes, definitely.
And I think probably
Most
the next
definitely.
one would be to construct a terrace seating area across the street.
using the
The
pink.
Anthony Mill using the pink granite, probably gonna be.
Green.
Yeah, probably green. Rearrange seats in Reed School, fix fence. I don't know,
The
what do you guys think
rearrange
about
the
that?
seats could easily be done
Yeah, that's short
in
term.
6 months, that's short term. The fixed fence, again, depends on money. I mean, once the money's approved, it shouldn't take more than 6 months, but without any money.
Let's set it at. With that element to it, let's set it at yellow.
We don't have a 2025 budget now, do we?
They're still
No,
working on it.
It's.
But didn't they take it? Well, I forgot already what,
They did a
they left
preliminary.
us 1,200 or
Are you
something?
saying 24, 25, or 25, 26?
24, 25.
24, 25.
Maybe there is one that exists for 24, 25. The earliest you'd think they'd be working on it at this point, I think.
Well, they already
So-
They're working
presented
on
a
it now.
draft. They presented a
Okay,
draft.
then, okay, so
That's
then,
one where finance director got burned a little bit because he went in there without the school's
Yeah.
amount.
okay,
They went Tuesday and then the school proposal, budget was part of Tuesday's meeting.
Also,
This
they did
past
talk,
Tuesday, this past Tuesday. It was on the agenda. I didn't watch it, but it was on the agenda.
20,
so.
Look it up.
25. That's a request, that's.
yeah, I'm talking about the town budget.
The actual,
I'm gonna look it up.
I thought I printed it, but apparently not.
It's slow in here.
It's not great in here.
Nope.
We can, Just gonna say we could multitask.
Make that a green project.
It'll take time.
Yeah.
Trying to access
Yeah.
the green project.
Engrave or put a plaque on the boulder that stands in the site of the first town meeting house for Maple Valley Medicine, to recognize location's historical significance.
Again, if there's money available,
Remember what
less
Paul
than
showed
6
us,
months,
was it
There's
Paul
no
that
money
showed us the
available.
prototype of?
it'll just hang until,
So what should we say then, if money, in these
Yeah, it's about
instances
money.
where it's gonna take money, we don't know where the money.
Make it green.
Yeah,
And of course, Pine Grove Cemetery wall is supposedly,
knowing the
I
history.
don't know,
probably,
don't know.
yeah, great.
Formalize a space within the town hall annex for artifact displays, workshops, etc.
That's green, because it depends on what they,
And even
that's
the
a working
timeline. yeah.
project, they don't even know what their
They're saying,
timeline is.
they said a year, then it went to 18 months and now it's 2 years, so.
Okay, yeah, probably. green.
It's construction,
And I would figure, put a sign in front of Black Rock to acknowledge
Yep.
its historical significance, is probably green as well.
Yep.
and
Okay.
it's all about the money.
And I guess that makes sense, you know, by special projects by nature are gonna be individual projects,
Mhm.
I guess, most of them. At least half probably get required, so let's take stock of how it looks. So this is probably the most heavily. Uniform, we expect, you know,
Long
probably
range.
somewhere, yeah. Somewhere more in the realm of a year or more to accomplish. Education. I guess has slightly more of the ongoing elements.
Yeah, because once you develop your education program, you wanna keep it going, so
Yeah.
you
and
have
I
some
guess I mean,
short-term
so-
stuff and some long-term stuff and.
So, you know, now that you have all the colors in there, the next step would be to put all the colors together, but like still label, like right now we're looking at education, publicized so and so.
Put all the
You'd
red
have
ones at the top and the blue ones in the
Yeah,
middle and the green
but
ones.
you want to bring along with those 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 bullets. All have to say education in front of them or something. Once you put the word education with each one of those, then, and like all the others, and then you put all your colors together, and in effect, you've got a Gantt chart.
Hmm. And in that way, yeah, and
It's like
I
an
mean, this
Excel
stuff does
spreadsheet.
help too, yeah, when it comes time to.
How do they do their,
To some extent, that could probably even be carried into, I don't know what form we'll want our calendar. Even if our calendar needs to take a physical, well, or a
Right.
visual form.
what does the town do with their planning?
I don't
Is
know
it
that they,
Excel spreadsheet?
I don't
Each
know.
department would have their own way.
Or at least like planning, you know,
Right,
he handles long range planning. So I don't know how he keeps himself organized on that front.
so there's no
Someone-
standardized way to.
I don't know that there is. My world is short-term planning, so I respond to what comes in.
Right.
So that's, you know,
Crisis
that's a different-
management, basically, yeah.
it's not the same thing as I know,
No,
coming up with something like this.
I was just, if they had a format, it would be easier to put it in the format that the powers that be are used to looking at
Well,
for understanding purposes, but if they don't have a format, then
yeah, then we just make ours
we just
clear.
make our own.
Yeah, an organization looks like. 3 for short term, 3 for. Meet or long,
Pretty evenly.
Yeah, so you put all the colors together and you can kind of see how busy you're gonna be. Like, well,
There's that, and then there's also like, and that will come time when we decide like to pick which tasks, I mean,
Do
maybe.
first, and I'm gonna do them all at the same time, so.
Maybe the group's preferences, like, you know, it could be anything, could be with like a mix, like I don't need to get too far ahead of, you know, what we're doing, because we gotta save something for the next time, but maybe it is like. 2 or 3 wanna break off and take an education project at the same time, 2 or 3 wanna take an organization one. Maybe we decide. One of these projects is something that we should really all be doing at the same time. You can start to think in those terms and decide. Like, what does it look like? How much are we you know,
What do you want to do?
individually and collectively juggling at once? What seems like the right balance in terms of focus versus getting
Mhm.
stuff done? We can play around with how we organize these. We can try it by color first. Maybe that helps to think. It's one way of helping us to think about it, but it's not necessarily any way that we must. It can be what it needs to be. So It's driven by the commission. So I guess we've got this, let's hit save.
Please, I want to do this again.
Would you mind sending that out?
Yep.
Cause I might like to just toy with it a little bit and see how it would fit on a Gantt chart.
So, and remember that when you do that, it's review and then next to track changes, that this is where you can switch between the view where you see who we'd be working with, and then this view of what the tasks are, you know, temporally what the tasks are.
Which
Okay,
could actually go on the chart off to the side.
Yeah, a Gantt chart will
Other,
tell you
other
who's
groups
working
you have
on
to
it.
deal with, so you have a column that says,
Mhm.
you know, other agencies or, you know, other departments needed. And
Mhm.
add those in, so they're not just, you know, a comment off to the side.
all right,
That's where I see the Excel spreadsheet.
Mhm, mhm.
Oh, God, no, shoot me now.
well, then in that case, I think we've spent enough time on this for today. Another fine installment.
Plan 101.
All right,
You good?
Okay, the next thing is the budget, next proposed, sample budget.
Mhm.
There were some questions about some of the amounts, but you want to go through that, Nick?
Did you guys talk about it
We
last meeting?
talked about it a little bit, and that some of these things, they said, oh, that's not enough
Yeah.
money, that kind of
Mhm.
thing.
Yeah.
Um,
So right off the bat, the fiscal 2025 budget is, I couldn't find it. I couldn't find it just now on the notes. It looks like, once again, they didn't attach the budget documents to the agenda. So I'll have to dig deeper to find that, but this is just, $5,600. I don't know, we might be getting 1,000. I'm not really sure. But it's really just an exercise. This budget was an exercise so everybody could like see everything on paper, what we've got going on, and the numbers are just conversation starters. So Reed Schoolhouse maintenance, $2,600, because we had some things that we had to get done right away, and then ongoing, I was figuring about $500 a year in ongoing maintenance. And those numbers could be larger or smaller, but I just wanted to throw something out there to get the conversation started. And then printing services, that's gonna really depend on how we go about the tasks that we were just showing up there. As far as long-term, short-term, it would go up beyond as well. But these amounts probably are a little low in printing
That's a good question.
services.
When the town prints things out, do they have an in-house printer, or do they send it out?
I mean, for copies, like for daily work stuff.
No, like pamphlets and that type of thing.
Like a department,
I
this
guess I
printing services department.
I don't think we have a special department for printing things. I mean, I kind of, I'm trying to think of who would, because, the building department, they have their online intake, they have paper forms, like, but those are just sheets, like.
Right,
you
right.
print. Elections, I think, or the Board of Canvassers, I think they get their stuff shipped in from the state.
Okay.
I don't really know if the town does.
I know the library does pamphlets. Do they send them out? I mean,
Maybe the library is separate, maybe the library is like, got its own separate book, I mean, it's funded by the town. but-
right.
Well,
Yeah,
I don't know, the
No
library is,
centralized printing things. The reason I say is when
I'm
you're
not
talking
aware of
about,
anything.
the library is contracted out.
when you're talking about public printing, I just printed 200 pamphlets on cheapy. It was gloss paper, but it was cheapy, and 250 pamphlets were $200. So 250 pamphlets.
high
is
school.
nothing.
The high school or whatever vocational school, they have a graphic art department that does all that kind of thing.
Do they
Oh.
print or do they just do layout?
They print, they do it all. They do shirts, they do all kinds of things.
Hmm.
They do brochures, they do all kinds of things there,
There may be opportunity.
like,
Yeah.
especially
Sure.
town things.
Yeah,
Right.
that's something to keep in the back of your mind,
Mhm.
because it could be that there are opportunity, again,
If they do signs.
They do it all. They do it all, the vocational school.
For a fee, right? They don't do it.
They don't do it. No, they have to charge something for the supplies and whatever,
I'm
but
gonna charge
but it's.
you.
I hope
stu-
it's,
a
I hope it's
student
not in their
program.
budget and we're paying
No, it's
for
a
that.
student program, it's cheaper than,
Yeah, of course, yeah.
but,
Yeah.
I mean, we
There
used
could
them
be,
years
yeah,
ago, but
could be
haven't used them in a
possibility
while.
that maybe they're, everybody's. is
But you
agreeing,
have to
shakes hands
remember-
on, this is a feel good thing all around.
But you have to
Yeah.
remember when you're dealing with the school, they shut down at the
Yeah.
end of the school year
Yeah.
and in
June to
September.
September, there's nothing going on.
Yeah, and in September, it takes a while for them to get started again, so it's not something you can do short term.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to be like, say, prepared for fall,
Yeah,
because they shut down.
Or tie it to a project that's happening at
Yeah,
the right
yeah.
time of year.
Yeah, it's thinking along the colors and,
Mhm.
and we're doing
it'd be fun to
marketing
work with them
materials.
on
if
a
you want,
long-term
huh?
project. It'd be fun to work with them on a
Yeah,
long-term
if you
project.
wanted to do the marketing materials through
Yes.
them,
Mhm.
more than likely start that in September when they go
Who
back to
knows, I
school.
mean, even if, like, say you find some company online does the printing part cheaper, but maybe it's still, maybe they would
It's the-
still be interested in like doing the
The
design
design.
part,
Mhm.
Mhm,
you
mhm.
know? It could
And
be
it's
nice.
a bridge building,
Yeah,
Yeah,
Well, yes, it brings in community,
Mhm.
not just us, it brings in the schools.
it would
'Cause
give
the-
us an opportunity to
the
talk to
school-
students about
Yeah,
history
and the
too.
schools have always been interested on local history,
There you go.
but putting into the curriculum, it just,
Mhm.
it hasn't happened.
Yeah, we should put a project together that give us an excuse to work with them.
for September.
For a second,
For September.
Oh.
It's not gonna happen now.
I was gonna say first, no, they're already winding
Their
down.
little
You-
brains
you-
are on vacation. They're not-
You're already winding down, you don't approach them like this now. But in September, they have to be running for about 3 weeks before you can
Mhm.
approach them.
Well, we don't even know what the requirements are for printing further down.
Yeah.
What kind of logos they want, and I don't know if they have any kind of standardization for.
They should have printed information on that. It could be in the charter. I think it is. I think there's, or am I thinking about County of San Bernardino still? I think there was something,
Yours was department by department, so.
oh, well, I'm just talking about the town logo,
Oh,
this.
I don't know. We can
Oh,
find out what they want.
back to the budget, I guess.
Oh.
So that's printing service, special projects. This is probably where my numbers are off.
Well, the sign replacements, and that's way too low.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, yes.
Gate and the fence repair is way too much.
which one?
On the Reed Schoolhouse, the gate and repair gate and fence. And $500, yeah, never happened.
I was thinking we'd get out there with hammer and nails.
Yeah, that
you
is
know?
not gonna happen.
Well, and I have to admit that when I was putting this together, I was trying to conform to like around 5,000 a year, just to,
Yeah,
because when I first did this, it was like 25,000 a year. But we don't have a history of actually spending that kind of money anyway, so if nobody would give it to us.
writing, so people can see what the money is to be
well,
used
and the
for.
other thing too is that it's, in any case, I think it's useful to have, yes, done the exercise of putting this down on paper. And it's probably like once we start to like sort some of those projects down and we have some idea of what a year will look like, I mean, maybe that's another way that it shakes out to whatever the historical norm of a 5,000-ish budget, or if that is the historical norm.
Right. Determine
mean,
what you
that-
can do per
yeah.
year.
That could stagger or feed into it
Mhm.
anyway. So
Yeah.
that'll be, it'll be something basically, we pull it back out once we've got our calendar and start to think about what does it look like to, fiscally to pursue
Yeah,
the work program that we're thinking of.
and I think we have to establish operational credibility before we can really push for budgeted amounts. We have to be able to show that we're accomplishing things and that we have a plan.
Mhm, mhm.
And then we say, hey, look at all that we're doing, what we want to do. We've got clear-cut goals and objectives. We need the money.
And if they can follow the logic
Yeah,
that we're presenting, that probably is
yeah.
it's better than the alternative, I guess, or safer
Mm.
bet than the
What's the alternative? No
Hand
money?
in hand, let's get right-
Yeah, no, we have to establish our credibility and then the money will flow. So, huh?
If they buy a pond, yeah.
Yeah, oh my gosh. So that's special projects. I only put 1,100 in there. And then I put budget for the transcriber. I think I'd picked up somewhere that it was
I
$1,600.
did see that in the that was in the budget.
Yeah,
previous
yeah,
budgets.
yeah.
Where's the transcriber line?
under miscellaneous expenditures right after total special
Oh, yeah,
projects.
yeah.
Yeah. So, and I put notes out here too, if anybody wanted to look at the notes.
Mhm.
For example, with the launch webpage on town website, would be done by town IT and should be charged to us.
It shouldn't cost, I mean.
I just think in the hours, of
Yeah,
staff
billable
person's hours,
Yeah, that's true.
because they have to budget it in their staffing hours.
And
So-
would they give us, is there gonna be some? Another question you can answer is if you have a town website. Is that something that the town is going to have to maintain, or is that something that they're gonna give us the ability to go in? and
Parks and
update?
Rec has their own website, I can ask them.
Mm.
They have their own
Yeah, we'll have
website.
to see what Cody thinks, whether it's.
Or
you
ask
know,
Cody,
He may have,
yeah.
yeah, I assume, anyway, I don't know for
That's-
sure.
Depends on how they do their websites,
Yeah.
Yeah.
my HTML is really rusty and really bad, so I really don't wanna do that.
It could be, yeah, I don't know, I guess in two, when we decide how frequently are some of these exhibits gonna get updated, like, is it so necessary, is it? Like, is it a great imposition to ask someone to do?
To do it,
Whatever
right.
updating we would be thinking of. Again, this stuff, like, some of these things will become clearer as we start
As we get into
to
it.
drill down into them. I guess it's gonna be for a while yet, I think,
Mhm.
a process of just constant revelation. And finding out and then,
I know,
yeah,
figuring out a way around it.
that's probably the way to do it, I mean.
Mhm. So under special projects, the big money comes with the pink granite, 10,000 for that and 90,000 for Pine Grove Cemetery wall, but it's offset with revenue in the form of a CLG grant. And I got town grant because we were thinking that it could be ARPA money, and that's what we were talking about
That's what-
tonight's
yeah,
meeting too.
that's what
So,
was said.
so I just offset it with revenue there.
Mhm.
So that's basically it. They're all placeholder numbers, just a way to show how we could organize ourselves. I hear new noises. Is that little refrigerator over there
Yes,
maybe?
I think that's what it is.
I don't know whose fridge that is. But
What's in it?
I don't know
That's
whose fridge it
what I
is.
was
Is
gonna
it,
say.
is it worms for fishing?
I don't wanna open it at this point. Need to find out if it's true.
And open it up and find out.
He's gonna open it.
No guts, no glory.
Oh, there's some
Great
mustard. in-
palm.
There's mustard in it.
That's all that's in there.
Okay, well,
Oh,
at least
Uh,
there's
Big
nothing
adventure.
wiggly and yucky.
Well,
Okay.
Okay, well.
yes, definitely a worthy exercise, and I do think. It'll be, again, once we kind of start to decide what do we
Right.
think a calendar will look like.
Yeah,
That also helps,
that'll drive the
Yeah.
dollars.
it helps to inform, yeah, what would a specific 25-26 budget look
Mhm.
like?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Also,
And then
the
we
money
think through,
for
okay, and what,
Expenses.
yeah, if we think that it's strategically, long-term better. To start off doing things that establish the credibility, but also we've got a plan, we've got a logic, this is what we're building
Mhm.
towards. This is how we see ourselves ramping up over time. Then yeah, it all fits together, we
Mhm.
choose projects accordingly. We set
Mhm.
dollar amounts to them accordingly, it.
You know,
ends up being something that just
yeah.
kind of circles back on itself.
And I mentioned credibility because, at one of the town council meetings, probably like 3 meetings ago, the president, her name is
Hillary.
Hillary.
Lima.
Had mentioned, do we have a historic organization to handle that? I mean, she didn't even really know at least at that moment
Yeah,
that
no.
there was a historic preservation. I forgot what they were talking about.
The anniversary.
It's a 250, yeah, RI 250. And that got me thinking, well, we need them to know about us,
mhm.
so I would like to, again, this is like medium term, it's like not right away, because we don't have a way to present ourselves yet, but to have her or other town
Mhm.
councilors come to a meeting and make a presentation, here's all the things we're working on,
Excuse me.
or like one special project or something, just to get them involved and to
Mhm.
meet us and to see that we do have ideas and,
They
Projects.
rarely go to places together.
yeah.
And
Do
that's
you
a
wanna do a
quorum
pre-
thing.
Mhm.
If you wanna go to, if you wanna do a presentation, you go to a council.
Yeah, go to a
meeting,
Yeah.
Get on the agenda.
When we get to
Yeah.
to that point, we just
Yeah,
get on the.
And then they're
agenda.
there.
Yeah.
That way
Yeah.
legally they can all be together as a quorum
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
and talk about county business.
Yeah.
City town business.
I wasn't thinking to get a decision out of anybody or anything,
No,
but
but-
just to introduce us to them and get a
Yeah.
feel for what we're doing.
It may be, yeah, that by the time we've got a first full draft of
Mhm.
preservation plan.
Mhm.
Because to some extent, you know, we could take some comfort in terms of the public input stuff. The comp plan required, you know, public input sessions, so
Mhm.
we at least know some things about in this update.
Mhm.
We at least know some things about what the consensus was. Just to cut, you know, in the, at least a 5-year, if not more recent time frame of what historic preservation should
Should be doing.
yeah, so, you know, I don't think we'll be wildly off base if we put something together in draft form before, but yeah, I think eventually it would be. Some kind of sharing of what we've initially made. That's an occasion to show, you know, we've been putting in effort, and then, yeah, if they've got ideas. Well, hey,
That would
that's
be the
what, that
time to-
prompts them to
yep.
engage,
Mhm.
That would
so,
be the
Hmm.
time to do it.
another thing for the radar,
Yeah,
alright.
Okay, and I know Paul was looking at pricing for signs, but he's not here, so.
mhm.
Mm.
Yeah, we'll talk about the report next time.
Yep.
I did see a typo also, going back to the budget. On the revenue for the CLG grant, 10,000. For the pink granite project, I had put in there, I moved this expenditure to, I said 2025, but I meant 2026, so. Small point, but it could be misleading if somebody
Oh, okay.
just first looked at it.
Okay, so anything else anyone wants to? Questions to bring up? Do we have a public comment? Any public comment?
And it's us.
So is that actually, out in the public right
Yes.
now?
It exists, but we don't have the Zoom link out there.
Oh.
You know, it's not.
So they'd have to be
advertised like
looking
that.
for it.
Yeah, I don't know how, I don't actually
Hmm.
necessarily know how,
Oh, it's okay.
but
It's
So-
an open meeting, so you have to,
it is, we.
But it's not
publicly-
open if it's not public, you have to,
Like, well, what I'm saying
well,
is
they
like
can be
the,
here too.
the agenda
True,
doesn't say like,
true.
here's a Zoom link.
yeah.
It just, the agenda gets posted out there and they know where the meeting.
I think
Yeah.
we talked about that before though, and we had said that they didn't want to pay for it or something, or,
I know, like today's an example.
45 minutes is what you get on the free Zoom, and they are not kidding.
Yeah.
45 minutes, and they cut you off.
but we have an account, the town has an account though, right?
I would
It's,
assume so.
yeah, but like, this is an example of, they got a council meeting going on right now.
Yeah.
So I know they have limits, we're on their backup
Mhm.
account,
Oh, okay,
and this one is not a webinar. Cody said this one doesn't do webinars, it just does meetings. I don't fully know
Hmm.
all the,
So you can't
capacity,
record
but-
it and go back.
this is like, we're recording. But I think it's basically, I know that we can use this for what we've been using it for, which is to have video
Mhm.
recordings that the. Minute takers able to review afterwards.
I used to like looking in there,
I know, now you're here.
yeah, all worked out.
Yes, you want to come to one of our meetings, get your butt up here.
Yeah,
We'll get you a chair.
Alright,
Okay,
Yeah,
so we
that's
have a motion to adjourn,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
second,
oh, I second.
all in favor,
Aye.
opposed? We are adjourned.
and it is 7:28.
Good meeting.